Social engineering is a psychological manipulation technique to influence society to change the collective. Front-faced by media, education and groups use it to mold society to push their own ideology. This should be used for our benefit and shaping society to become more empowered. However, it's usually to bring in a change that will benefit the few and the masses of the population will suffer. This has happened many times in history where society has been socially engineered to be led by some sort of dictatorship. Social engineering is continually pushed in education, media, films and television, programming us to close down the individual way of thinking. Sometimes it's a plan of years in the making, and eventually their plan will remove your personal archetypes, so your persona does not think for itself. Social engineering makes us escape our true emotions and separates ourselves from the true self. Products via carefully curated images are placed into our subconscious, which make us react without being conscious. An action like impulse buying is programmed into us, where we either don't realize what we are doing or that we falsely believe it will resolve a misery or trauma. Film in cinema began as a way to explore our minds, but soon was used as war propaganda for negative objectives. We can see from Hollywood that film narrative has become dead, where stories repeat themselves over and over again. With so little new stories to stimulate us, we then begin to live in someone else's story, instead of helping us to question the reality we live in. The original cinema magic has become part of the throwaway culture. We play movies on black mirrors instead of appreciating it on the big screen. It destroys the very essence of this medium. So why would Hollywood want this? Because film expands your consciousness and is the strongest form of media for programming our psyches. But ultimately, of course, we give our consent, and it is only us that walk into our own pit, destroying our individuality within that artificial light. Censorship is a form of social engineering. It is the most dangerous act of any leadership and the biggest warning to any society. Usually masquerading for your benefit or protection, it will mold the collective thought process, projecting into your psyche and slowly imprisoning the self. We then have our own self-censorship, which further destroys the self and will only put your mind into a fear state where we socially engineer our own prison. The majority follow leaders who use very well rehearsed persuasion techniques and who are usually the trickster archetype. They will heighten your emotions, leading you into the spell so you feel like you're in control, but actually attacking your consciousness without you even being aware and convincing you it is for your benefit. To hypnotize an individual, group or population, events of such fear must be created on a continual basis. Keeping us in that fear state will allow our society to be completely engineered. You see how animals react to fear immediately, but humans store it in a cellular level, which leads to dis-ease. How can we be truly healthy in a socially engineered, fear-based society? In the West, we have been programmed with materialism, pornography, violence, and fear, all deliberate actions to destroy our psyches, maybe preparing us for what's to come. But what happens if you don't play that game? With our brain patterns now emotionally disturbed, the individual is traumatized, feels frozen, paralyzed, and trapped. Society begins to break down and is socially engineered to believe in the trauma and acceptance of the fear or lie. The media constantly regurgitates the same patterns and is a core part to this engineering, convincing you that it's a normal way to live. People believe they are free, or maybe they forget what freedom is. The biggest danger with social engineering is where the collective are made to believe that every individual that rebels against its power and enslavement must be considered a danger to our world. Policing people has become a very easy way to reinforce the distorted messages. Through social engineering, we can have a destruction and distortion of civilization by completely inverting its moral and ethical values. Stupid becomes smart, good becomes bad. People are controlled through a social class and wealth-based system. Consumerism then becomes the only freedom, the illusion that money and things bring happiness, when it actually brings nothing but emptiness. We are on our monomyth, our magical journey. We are seeing many realities unfold with a magnitude of life on this planet. Darkness will always rise when truth is revealed. That is our world of light and dark, with a vast array of colours in between. So we just have to step back and disengage from the darkness. Be aware of it, but not of it. Nature is our teacher, and nature cannot grow without the light or within trauma. We have to be in touch with our individual self to be self-aware of these programs. Otherwise, reality can be shaped in unexpected ways. Where do you find the time to think for yourself? Do you allow your mind to be removed from the program?